One of the reasons that we like the binomial probability distribution so much is that we have really nice formulas for being able to find the probabilities. I'm not even going to write the formulas down for you, although you're welcome to look at them in the textbook. And the reason I do not have to write them is that they're already given to us in our computer programs. So both StatCrunch and the TI-84 calculator will do this for us if we ask it nicely. All right, now this little table right here is also in your packet of notes that you get to use on the exam, and it's essential that you get how it works. So N is the number of fixed trials. P is the probability of success, and A and B would be the number of successes in your specific problem that you're looking at. And which way you're going to work this. This is the TI-84 business over here. Which one you're going to do depends on which one you're looking at. And same is true of StatCrunch. So you'll have to know from the English or from the symbols which one we're looking at. All right, so let's just do this, and as we do it, you'll discover it's really easy. Now, unfortunately, I don't have my computer program that will let me use the TI-84, so I'm actually just going to use a physical TI-84. So hopefully that will work because of where I'm making this video right now. All right, so but StatCrunch will always work. And I have to tell you, in this case, StatCrunch is easier, particularly for these between ones that we're going to work with. Okay, so let's go down here. So we want to determine the indicated probability for a binomial experiment with the given number of trials, n, and the given probability of success, p, and we want to give 4 decimal places in our answers. All right, so looking at letter A, we see that n is equal to 15, p is my probability of success is 1/4, and they're saying p parentheses 2, which means the probability of 2. So when I look back up here, 2 is a given number. It's implying, really, that they want the probability that x is equal to 2. It's just that, well, like most mathematical problems, we get lazy about it and we don't always write everything. So we just didn't bother to write the x equals, but that's what it means. It's a given number. They're giving you the number 2. So they want 2 successes. All right, so let's start with StatCrunch because StatCrunch is the best. It's so easy for this kind of stuff. All right, so I'm going to go to StatCrunch. And in StatCrunch, I want to go to my calculators. So under Stat, we go to Calculators and we choose Binomial. Right? If you remember in section 6.1, we were using the custom calculator, but now we're in the binomial section, we'll use the binomial. And if you're wondering about all the rest of these, we won't do most of the rest of these, but they are available if you take another statistics course or 2. All right, so we click binomial right here. Okay, so up here in this little slot right here, we can type in our n. And our n in this problem was 15. And our probability of success was 1/4, 1 divided by 4. And then I can tell it whether I want a standard, right? So it's standard right now because it's gray. See how it's gray on the standard? Or a between one. I actually want a standard one, so I'm going to stick with that. So 15 and 1/4, and it will take fractions very, very nicely, which is good to know. And then we want to click on this little thing next to the x because we want the probability that x is equal to 2. So we type 2 right here. And you can either click the compute button, or if you press the enter key, it will actually automatically figure it out. And there you have it. So you type your n here, you type your probability of success here. You have to choose the correct one, which in this case is an equals, and then you type your number of successes, which is 2, and click compute. So it's 0.1559. Simple as that. All right, so this is 0.1559. Done. And if you're thinking, well, why did you give us so much room? Well, it's a little bit trickier in the calculator, so I wanted to give space to anybody who's using the calculator to write it. I'm sorry, this is going to be the best I can do. So the calculator, it's above the variables button right here. See where it says DISTR right there? So you have to hit it blue. So second DISTR, and you have to go down until you find binompdf. It's letter A right there. And then you select that one. So you say binompdf, and then you tell it the number of trials, which is 15. You tell it the probability of success, which is 1/4. And then you tell it our x value, which in our case was 2. You go to paste, you press enter, and it takes you to the main screen, and it has pasted it in, and then we want to run it, so we press enter again. If you're doing StatCrunch, you don't need to do the calculator, right? You don't need to know both of them. I'm just showing the calculator for students that need to use the calculator. So if you're on the TI-84, and again, don't bother writing this if you're doing StatCrunch, you would use binompdf 15 1/4 2. That's how you get it. And again, don't bother writing that if you're not using the calculator. It's no biggie. The StatCrunch people, it's always the same thing. So you just go there and play around with the menus. All right, let's do it again. All right, so for this one, n is 85, p is 0.03, and x is less than 4. Okay, so we just need to go to StatCrunch. So, if I could click on the right thing. I actually, since I have this window open, I can just leave it open, right? I can just keep playing with it. If you close it for any reason, you can just go back to Stat Calculator's Binomial, but you by no means have to do it every time. You can just sit here and change the numbers. So for us, it's 85. Our probability of success is 0.03, so you just type 0.03, and then you just select the icon. They wanted the probability, it says P parentheses X, just like it does on our paper. And we want to say less than, and we want to type the number 4 because that's the number that's in there. And you click compute, and there it is. And interestingly enough, it actually highlights the bars on the histogram. That's a histogram essentially behind us. And you can see, oh, probability of less than 4. It's right there. It shows us those 4 red bars. And the answer is 0.7483. All right, so let me go put that on there. So it'd be 0.7483. Done. Oh, my pen is dying. Sorry about that. Okay, so if you were going to use it on the calculator really needs all this extra work. So we're doing a fewer than, which is a binomcdf, and you have to do a minus 1, just like it says. So we would go binomcdf. Sorry, I have to switch pens because that pen is completely dying on me. All right, so binomcdf, you'd say 85.03, and then it tells you to use 4, take away 1, A, take away 1. So A for us is 4, so you'd use 4, take away 1, aka 3. So when I go to binompdf, or binomcdf, sorry, so I go back to the distribution menu, I go to binomcdf, which is letter B, and then I tell it 85.03, and then 3 would be my x value. Or you can even type 4 minus 1 and it'll work. And you paste, and there it is. Same answer we got from StatCrunch. All right, follow that. If you're using the calculator, which as you can see is more tricky, I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend the StatCrunch if you can use it. But if you are using the calculator for whatever reason, then be sure to follow what I wrote here. It's your lifeline. It will not lead you astray. You can always get these right. You just have to realize which row you're in. All right, let's do some more. So down here for C, we have a greater than one. All right, so greater than, greater than or equal to, excuse me. It's got that extra line underneath. So that's a greater than or equal to. All right, so let me go back to StatCrunch. I'm going to change my N. N for this one was 16. Probability of success was 0.78. I'm going to change this symbol. So I'm going to click on that little symbol. I'm going to change it to a greater than or equal to and type 11. And then click compute. And there it is, 0.8812. That 5 would round that 1 up. So if we're going to do 4 decimal places, that's 8812. Okay, 0.8812. Sorry, I had to change colors halfway through. My blue pen is dead. I just threw it in the trash. Okay, so now TID4 people, again, if you're a StatCrunch, you can just kind of skip this a little bit. But TID4, the greater than or equal to's are a little bit tricky. You have to do 1 minus binomcdf n, p, a minus 1. You have to follow these rules. A for us is 11. So you'd say 1, take away, binomcdf 16, 0.78, and then it's 11, take away 1, aka 10. You have to type that like you see it. So the way to do that is to literally type 1 minus to start with. This is why it's a paste feature instead of a calculate feature in your calculator. So distribution, binomcdf, there we go. So 16.7810. You paste it in, right? Did you catch that? So when I go to paste, I'm literally pasting it into that line. There it is. So that's why it says paste there, because you're putting it in the line. You're literally copying and pasting it in. And so when you run it, it will take the 1 minus for you and get you the same answer we got with StatCrunch. All right, last one for this page. So n is 8, p is 0.28. Oh, this is a tough one. This is a between one. Do you see how it has little equal signs on both sides of that? That's what I mean by inclusive. See the word inclusive here? What that means is that, let me see if I can highlight this. Inclusive here is why there are those extra equal signs, right? It's why this line here and this line here are there. That's what inclusive means. It means it's or equal to on both sides. I won't give you any ones that aren't inclusive. So if you're sitting there wondering, like, what if it doesn't say inclusive? I wouldn't do that because it would be slightly more tricky and I just don't want to deal with it. So we're just going to do inclusive every time. Okay. So that's what this is. So between inclusive, see those extra lines in there? And it's a between. X is between 2 and 5. It's bigger than 2, but it's less than 5. Now this is where StatCrunch really shines. So if I go to StatCrunch, I say n is 8. I see the probability of success is 0.28. There we go. I typed it correctly. And then between isn't one of these options. That's because between's up here. Normally we're using the standard calculator. The standard calculator has this whole less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, less than, greater than, equal, right? But if you click between, then it, look at that, automatically. See the less than or equal to's in there? See them? So it automatically sets it up. So you just type 2 here, 5 here, click compute, and you're done. And you can even see the bars are highlighted. 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the red ones. So the answer is 0.6953. If you're in StatCrunch, that's it. You're done, right? You don't have to do all this rigmarole with TI-84. If you're on a TI-84, however, you have a little bit of work to do. This one's really tricky because B is the bigger number and A is the smaller number, and they work differently. So you have to do on the TI-84, oops, I should have written TI-84 to here. Okay, so on the TI-84, you have to do binomcdf. Let's see, 8, 0.28, B, right? So A is 2 and B is 5. So you say 5 minus binomcdf 8.28, and then it's A minus 1. It says it right in the table. So it's 2 take away 1. I'm following this table up here. 8.28b, which was 5, minus, I couldn't fit this all in one line, so minus, and then this other one, 8.28 a minus 1, 2 take away 1. So you have to go type all of that into a TI-84, I'm sorry to say. And again, this is where the fact that it's pasting is helpful. So I go to second distribution, and I go to the binomcdf, it's letter B. I select it, and I say, hey, binomcdf, give me 8.285. That's my first one. Oop, I don't know why I'm doing my parentheses there. And I click paste, and it pastes it in. Now, don't hit enter. Just leave it. And then hit the minus sign, the subtraction sign. And you're saying the subtraction sign is over here with your operators, right? And you're going to say, hey, now do another binomcdf. So let me go grab binomcdf again. There it is. 8.28 is fine, but now I want to do 2 take away 1, aka 1. And then I paste. And now I have it. It's the whole line is in there. I have the binomcdf for the big one, which is B, minus binomcdf of A minus 1 right there. So if I press enter, there's the same answer that I got with StatCrunch. It's just a lot easier with StatCrunch.